Hey, morning, Joe. How are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Good man. Well, Joe, welcome to the Business Spotlight. Thanks very much for taking the time to speak with me this morning. Joe, could we start? Could you tell me a little about yourself, your background, and your organization, please?
So my name's Joe Donnelly. I'm the founder and CEO of Tackling Awareness of Mental Health Issues, which is TAMHI. It's named after my friend Tommy Tucker McLaughlin, who died by suicide in 2009. I started a project became a community volunteer group. A community volunteer group became a charity, and then we've basically embraced social entrepreneurship as a stream for us to be able to grow and develop. So I've taken it from a small £500 project supported by Unlimited to a well-established £250,000 a year charity that's holding its own in a very, very challenging environment. But if we go back to my background, I was a University of Ulster graduate, and I went into try to get graduate jobs. I struggled. I genuinely struggled. I went from into just the civil service. I went into AA, and then became an AO, and then became an EO, and then basically when the opportunity presented itself to go full time in 2014, I took a career break and I went full time. And the project that I went full time on worked, made a difference, and I'm now the CEO. So it helped me, as you said, the biggest risk you can take is to do nothing. I was sitting in what was basically a dead end opportunity job in the civil service. There was no growth for development. And when I embraced Tommy, I was able to utilize all the skills acquired through my degree and all the skills acquired through working in sport in Northern Ireland as a sports development sort of assistant. And ultimately, my job helps me shape change and save lives, and it's really rewarding.
It's a great share, Joe. So tell me, what sort of people, organizations, who do you work with? Who does Tammy touch across the community?
Well, our primary target group is the sport community. And the reason why we always target the sport community is because my passion for sport. Tommy started as a football tournament, working with football teams who, after Thomas's death, many were coming forward with various issues and challenges the players were facing. So we started just talking to them, saying, posting them, raising awareness. And the sport community became sort of our bedrock. And the reason for that is it's an environment you're there of your own free will. So when it comes to mental health and emotional well-being, provided the sport club challenge it, you listen because you respect and trust that source. We then also work with schools, and schools came about by accident through our work with sport clubs. Some young people associated to them asked us, can you come in and do a project at one of our schools? So we went in, did our project using our sport mythology of promoting mental health through games and play, and it was really well received. And we went from working with basically two post-primary schools to we now have 13 across the region. And we work with those on a regular basis, delivering a program where we train up over 200 young leaders, and they deliver our games-based approach to their peers. And then we also diversify by working with a wide range of other groups. So we're working with the Northern Ireland Women's Football Association. So we're supporting those guys with raising awareness of mental health and emotional well-being. We're about to launch a big sort of keyring campaign where we have kit key rings with our logos and our graphics and our badge, and on the back with a QR code which takes them to a customized mental health toolkit specific to their club. We've teamed up hopefully with the South Belfast League to start to run out a similar program. And then at a grassroots level, North Belfast is where we're from, where we're based. We always try proof of concept. We're linking them with like the old bank in the Crumlin Road, which is a halfway house for people who've been released from prison or are seeking temporary accommodation. And we're working with men with addiction issues and drug issues and a wide range of issues. But those guys are giving us an insight into what they've been through, the challenges they've faced, and ultimately how through support mechanisms they're coming through the end. And then we also work with on a regional network. We work with trusts. We work with community and volunteer groups who run mental health and emotional wellbeing programs specific to communities, and we find that that collaboration opens up new opportunities to link in and support. They address gaps. We do the awareness. They do the direct support around counselling intervention, things like that. So ultimately, we're wide ranging in terms of who we work with. But if you were to look at our statistics, 80% of the people we work with are young people between the age of 11 and 25. Then the rest would basically be made up with adults, and we're working roughly with about 3 to 4,000 young people a year directly ourselves. So that's what we do, and that's the difference we make. We also we're trying to record better how we make an impact because well, we work with coaches. Coaches work with young people, but we only record the coaches we work with. They go back into their setting and deliver our games-based approach across the country.
And what would you say has been your biggest lesson if you reflect back from launching TAMHI in 2011 right the way through 14 years later as we're coming up to, what would be the biggest lesson along the way, Joe?
I think it's sort of advocate what we preach, ask for help. At the very, very start when we were a project, we reached out to Unlimited. The mentor of Unlimited ended up becoming our chairperson and helped us get our first project off the ground. Then on the back of an organisation called Sported came here. We were the first Northern Ireland project. We asked for help. We explained what we were doing. We showed the evidence of the £500 project, and they backed us. They helped us transcend from a project to a community volunteer group to later a charity. And we're now at a stage now where we're at a stage where growth and development is required. And we're currently working with the Go Succeed program. So we've reached out and asked for help again with an amazing mentor. I don't want to name personal names on this, but with an amazing mentor who's helping give us a steer and guidance on how to grow, how to refine our product, and how to basically avail of new opportunities. And if I couldn't do it on my own, we don't have the skill set. And when you don't have the skill set, you seek it elsewhere. And the other one, and I can name an organisation, Ulster University, have been instrumental in our growth. They've looked upon us. We're based in North Belfast. The new campus is based in North Belfast. They've seen our work and they've got behind it in terms of helping us with research, helping us with development opportunities. They've put me on a leadership course, which was amazing. And all that is always ask for help. Know your skills, know your limitations. And if you want to take the organization to the next step, put out the hand and go, I need some help, I need some support. And thankfully, excluding the Northern Ireland government, which is probably the biggest weakness, and the biggest thing is it's a disaster, the government itself, but in terms of the institutions and groups who are out there, there is help available, and there's no shame in asking for help, and that's for your mental health and emotional well-being, and that's when you're trying to grow and develop your business. Because if you don't ask for help, you can very quickly easily decline and regress and go backwards. And because of people believing in what we do, backing us and supporting us, and because we've had the right conversations with the right people, we're now where we are and we're in a good place.
And what would you say you've learned about yourself along the way, Joe?
I'm very sort of a bit of an emotional wreck sometimes. No, it's like look, it's I've learned a lot about myself. The biggest thing was work-life balance, and COVID basically threw myself into TAMHI so much that it became my life. That I completely forgot about the fact that I've got a family, and it wasn't in the sense that I was trying to neglect a family as such. It was in the sense that I was trying to basically do better ultimately for them, but at the expense of it's okay, daddy's out working every single night of the week or out working every single weekend. You sacrifice that time with your children and your family. And when you took a step back after COVID, COVID was probably the biggest positive ever in terms of what it helped me as a person achieve. Take a step back and realize, you know what, TAMHI's a job. It is a passion. I don't feel like I'm going to work. I'll make that clear. But I need to focus on family. I need work-life balance. I need to make time. And sacrifice only goes so far if it basically ends up ruining sort of relationships. And like we got a lot of ASD, and he where's daddy, where's daddy, where's daddy. So I've took a step back and I've learned about myself that I can balance my life. I can balance my work. I can when I'm working the night, I can take a bit of time off this big collect him from school and do a bit with him and stuff. So things like that, real on a real personal level, I've learned that
Mhm.
work our work makes a difference. It's not seen, in my opinion, as a sort of a job. It's a passion, but not at the detriment of family and friends and those that you hold dear. Because when it comes to everything, like I'll always tell you, I'm number one. I need to look after myself. If I don't look after myself, I can't look after others. If I can't advocate for things where I'm trying to basically get people to save their relationships and be positive, if I can advocate and reflect that, then I'm a bit of a hypocrite. So I've had a real personal journey in terms of self-reflection and also self-growth. And as I says, I did that wee leadership program with Ulster University, and that's the first personal development I did since 2014, and that was just this year. It was really rewarding. It was really positive. It was something that helped me build a new network, but also enhance my skills. It was during the day, so I just had to basically get a bit of permission to take time off during work hours, but it was work
Mhm.
related, so it was fine. And I've grew as a person, and that's the biggest sort of learning. Because at the start, when you're starting to start something, you think you have to sacrifice everything to make it a success, and you don't, because you could end up basically being very negative and very resentful to what you've become, and thankfully I'm in a far better place. And COVID was probably the biggest positive ever in terms of a break, because you had to break, you had no more choice, and you had to sit back, you had to reflect and go, "Do you know what? That is from 2014 to 2020 what the TAMHI looked like. Complete sacrifice, complete TAMHI was my life. TAMHI basically nearly destroyed my life. Take a step back. TAMHI is a big part of my life, but so is my family, so is my friends, so is my health. Making time for my health. And from it, I've basically implemented and practiced as everything I've preached.
What was your biggest takeaway from the leadership program that you did?
Emotional intelligence. Honestly, I have completely fallen in love with the whole concept of emotional intelligence and everything we do going forward. When you actually look at it, sort of around your social development, your psychological development, your decision making, everything we do will basically pertain now to emotional intelligence. Because when we look at what we're trying to advocate within young people, have emotional intelligence. When we're looking at what we're trying to advocate in coaches that support young people, if they've got emotional intelligence, they're better in place to support young people. And one of the biggest things, as hard as this sounds, is we're doing a bit of work around how to be emotionally intelligent with people that you're not giving equal game time to. So the biggest contributor the coaches directly influence is game time, but they ignore the young person in the hope that the problem goes away, as in the
Mhm.
kid leaves their own free choice. Where an emotionally intelligent conversation is, look, here's where we are, here's why I'm picking this player, here's why I'm not picking you, here's what I can do for you, or here's the options that you have. Have those conversations early, because what it avoids is backstabbing from parents about why my child's not playing. It avoids the young person feeling isolated and excluded through just being brought and left to the side. So we're doing a lot of work around it. But the minute I heard emotional intelligence, I can't even remember what the rest of the leadership course was, because it was the one bit that actually resonated with me, connected with me. That's the one bit I'm actually interested in taking forward.
Very good. Yeah, it's a great share. It's a great skill to have for anyone listening. So, what about any podcast or book? If you were stuck on a desert island, and you could listen to a podcast or read a book, what would you be? What
Look,
would you be?
I'm not a big podcast fan. The last one I watched was Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. I watched the full one. That was the first time I watched the full Joe Rogan podcast. But I'm a sort of I love Game of Thrones, and I love fantasy fiction. And the reason for it is we live a sort of a life where we're in reality and we deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly on a daily basis. And sometimes you just need that escape. And the Game of Thrones books, the Tale of Duck and Egg, those are the things that I like to read. And the reason why I like to read them is escapism, because, like I says, you want to escape reality. Because, like I says, we see the amazing side of mental health, which is great. We see the bad side of it, which is really sad, and then we also basically see the ugly side of it. And the ugly side of it is the lack of investment, the neglect, the homelessness, the addictions. Sometimes if I was on a desert island or I'm on a holiday, you just want to basically sit back, chill out, and read, escape. So it's Game of Thrones, and if I'm watching a series, I'm currently watching From, which is an amazing sort of series. It's a horror series. I like escapism. I don't want reality. I don't want to hear. But most podcasts are about sort of like Joe Rogan. He's talking to Donald Trump about World War III. I don't want to sit and hear about that stuff. I'm happy enough hearing about dragons flying and burning down kingdoms and princesses being rescued and stuff like that. That's my forte. I'm getting a wee bit of a giggle if I'm in the room.
Yeah, and
But
it's also got the Northern Ireland connection as well. So there you go.
that's it. It was made here.
Yeah.
So it was. But it's Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. As sad as that sounds, I've read every single Harry Potter book. But that's me. It's just escapism, fantasy fiction. That do reality I deal with on a daily basis. Sometimes you just need to escape.
And if you could invite any three people to a dinner party, who would you have there?
Look, one of them will be Donald Trump. I'm not. I don't want to be controversial, but if we actually look at the guy's proper politics. America was a far better place if he was in charge. He has character, he has charisma, he has a businessman. It is also busy. People seem to forget about
Mm.
he's running the country like a business, and I don't think politicians like that. And I think lessons could be learned because we're always run as a country in UK, Northern Ireland, at the backdrop of tough decisions and cuts. We're never run on the back of abundance or opportunity or
Mm.
anything that's inspiration or visional. We're never like that. What he's advocated for, what he's trying to achieve for America, is inspirational. So I mean, make America great again. And I would love to basically have him at a dinner table. I'm a big Man U fan, so the next two are basically Alex Ferguson and Roy Keane. And for the very simple reason is Alex Ferguson is one of the most inspirational people who's played a huge part in my life in terms of creating memories that I'll never forget. And I absolutely love Roy Keane as a captain, but I also love Roy Keane on the overlap, which is the
Yeah,
sort of series he delivers now. He has character, he has charisma, he has attitude, his application. He's an Irishman. He's just the type of person I would love to meet in person. And there would be the three would have a dinner, a date all day long, and
very good.
making something very special.
Roy Keane, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, and he was almost meeting an Ipswich fan in the car park.
Seen that, he was offering one out to the car park, but that does
Uh,
old blood because he's the manager probably, so the price said something nasty to him.
I don't think Roy Keane and the Ipswich fans have got a loving relationship, put it that way. No, very good. So what about if you could go back in time, Joe, and give some advice to your 18-year-old self? What would that be?
Genuinely, if I go back in time to my 18-year-old self, just keep doing what you're doing because, like I says, I've, I've done all right. I'm not sort of disappointed the work that we do shapes teams and saves lives. So I wouldn't tell myself I wouldn't change anything about my past and I wouldn't change anything about my current trajectory. I was big enough to basically take an opportunity, which was it isn't working out in sport in Northern Ireland. You've went for two jobs, you've not got them because of technicalities. You're
Mhm.
going to struggle here in the civil service for the rest of your life. Or as you say, I'll take a risk and I'm now my CV alone should TAMHI not work out is really robust and starring it will get me really good opportunities and great opportunities. And I think when life is what it's all about, put yourself in a position to take opportunities. And my 18-year-old self has always been that way. We won, this is from us probably way back, social enterprise Northern Ireland back in sixth year, represented the country, then went on the sort of university, did okay, and I went into the job world of worked my way up from literally AOEOE. I was thinking, old McDonald had a farm.
I'm gonna say.
AO, AOEO. But like I says, I've transitioned up, and I've always had a good work ethic because I've worked since I was 16 for about was it about 10 years. I've had two jobs. I used to work for Invest NI and Sport NI and sorry, Tesco. So I worked from double job, Tesco, because an executive Tesco, Belfast Met, Tesco Invest NI, Tesco Sport NI. I've always double jobbed, and since I was 16, always had worked hard, and I think that's a mentality that's always been drilled into me because like I says, you're from the socially deprived area, and we firmly believe that you're not a product of the environment you live in, you're a product of the choices you make in it. So
Mhm.
if you align yourself with like the sports clubs, which is why I'm so passionate about sport, the youth groups, you listen in school, you pay attention, and you work hard, you're more likely to escape sort of a life of uh, poverty and lack of opportunity. And the thing is, Northern Ireland says that's probably the biggest sort of disadvantage that we're in because Northern Ireland is a backwards place. It's the government. It's just not great. It never has been great. It always operates in the back of like crisis. I mean, we're never sort of enough, even funding the peace dividends never materialised. The areas, most deprived areas, whenever I was younger, still the most deprived areas now. They've never actually dealt with any of the issues. They just sort of give us as many photo opportunities as possible without actually making a difference. That's just a personal thing. It's hard to
Mhm.
operate
Yeah.
in Northern Ireland, but 18-year-old self, just keep being yourself, kid, and things will work out for you. I wouldn't change anything. I really enjoy where I am now. I've been through many ups, many up downs, but there's no one in life's going to go through things very easily, unfortunately, because well, everything may be going well now. Life will always throw you a curveball, and it's basically how you bat it back will make a difference to basically how you cope with it and how you transcend to the next stage in life.
And what about if we fast forward, Joe, 5 years? What does TAMHI look like then?
Ideally, what we're aiming for, and why we're working with the Go Succeed program, is to be UK and Ireland wide. Like I says, we've created an approach. We're trying to get ourselves on a number of sort of high profile radars. And when we're there, it'll hopefully create opportunity for us to expand our operations. We have opportunities in England at the moment where we're working with Mind and the Sport for Good group. We've got opportunities in the Republic. We've got links to the Mental Health Commission. So we're just trying to basically work out how to expand our operations out and how to do it again, referring back to my lesson learned, is so it doesn't basically take over my life where I'm all of a sudden going across UK and Ireland on a regular basis and not going home. So we're trying to work out how to basically expand our operations, or share our approach across the UK and Ireland without basically physically having to, like, us staff. We're trying to get new resource, new human resource, new people in to basically take up different projects in different sort of regions. So that's what we're aiming for, and that's what we hope will be the trajectory of TAMHI in the next 5 years. Will be UK and Ireland wide, with officers based in UK and Ireland, not necessarily us travelling to them, other than for a nice wee sort of trip away, potentially with the missuses and the waves. But just to basically be across, making a difference to people's lives across the whole of the country and beyond.
And if somebody likes what they've heard, Joe, and wants to reach out to you or to TAMHI, what's the best way for them to go about that?
I don't want to give up, like, Joe, Joe at Tango Alpha Mother Hotel Indigo.org, and they can get us on our website www.tommy.org. I wouldn't give don't give my personal number out because I'll
No,
end up
don't
getting
do that.
sales calls, insurance offers. I don't want that. But that's it. We're a charity, and if any businesses want to get involved, we can do so much for them in terms of we can run big games days for a bit of crack and a bit of banter, but they also learn about mental health. We can get them, if they're involved in sport clubs. One of the big things we feel is the biggest value is rather than basically you helping us, we help you if you're associated to a club, and through your organisation you support that club. So you volunteer at that club or school or youth group because you're volunteering at something that means something to you, rather than coming to, like, who's TAMHI? TAMHI helps you volunteer in an environment you want to make a difference in, and therefore it's going to be more effective and more relevant to you because we'd help you help people you care about, and that's what our whole ethos is about.
Very good. Well, look, Joe Donnelly, CEO and founder of TAMHI. Look, thanks very much for sharing the story. It's like you're adding a lot of value back into what is a more public aware issue than I'm guessing it would have been back whenever you started. So, look, well done. You've played your part in that. Great. I wish you and the organisation all the best for what we've got left of 2024 and 2025 and beyond, Joe. So, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you for the opportunity, good sir.